If you're a Batman fan, you've probably heard of Beware the Batman. It's an animated show that was aired in late 2013. Now, why do I have to justify that this programme is good? Well, first off, any announcement that involves a comic book character is guaranteed to receive negative response from some fans, and the fact that this is a Batman show makes matters even worse. Just look at all of the reactions to the Man of Steel sequel. This show didn't receive the greatest initial reactions, and there are a number of reasons for this. We're talking about an animated Batman show here. It's been done, and it's been done well. I don't think I have to explain just how amazing Batman the Animated Series is. And if you haven't seen it, then you're definitely missing out. The writing, the animation, the voice work, it's all great stuff. This was the launchpad for all of the great animated DC work to come later. Superman the Animated Series, Justice League, Teen Titans, Young Justice, Green Lantern, great stuff. Now speaking of Young Justice, unfortunately it was cancelled. Thanks Cartoon Network. Young Justice received a positive response, and my body was ready for Season 3. So here's where some of the backlash for Beware the Batman began. They replaced Young Justice for this. Now let's address this issue first. It's all Cartoon Network's fault. Young Justice didn't sell enough toys, so it got canned. Now, it wasn't Warner Bros.' fault, but this doesn't explain why Beware the Batman is a good show, so let's move on. Now this has to be the biggest criticism I heard from day one. The animation sucks. Now, I'll be completely honest on this one. The animation is a bit daunting at first, but if you watch the show, especially in HD, it does look pretty spectacular at times. Now, comparing this to this is just pointless. They're two completely different styles. Now, I'm not a huge supporter of 3D animation. I mean, I'm into this stuff. I love 2D animation. There's something charming about it. It feels more personal than a 3D model. But does this mean that 3D animation is bad? Of course not. There's no denying that this style of animation is impressive. It's all down to preference. Saying that this show looks awful simply because it's a different style is ridiculous. Try watching a few episodes and believe me, you'll get used to it. Now here's another common criticism. Alfred has a gun? He isn't old? Alfred has been depicted in numerous ways over the years. But this version is different. Change? Why would we want that? Remember The Batman? I don't know about you, I thought it was good. Emphasis on the good there. It was entertaining. It was almost similar to Batman the Animated Series, but not as good. Now for this reason, it's not that memorable. I still like it, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have much weight behind it. At least that's my opinion. So making Alfred different, is this good or bad? Well, I think it's good. If this went completely against the character, I would agree with the criticism. Why ignore all of the source material? But they didn't. This version of Alfred is heavily influenced by Batman Earth 1, which is part of the New 52. Now this modern depiction of Alfred is valid and is entertaining to watch. I love the relationship he has with Bruce in this series, and I don't need to see this again. Now, this brings me to the next complaint about Beware the Batman. There's no Joker. Where's Penguin? Catwoman? Two-Face? Now, this is the same issue I had with the Alfred complaint. What's wrong with a bit of change? Now, I don't need to explain why the Joker is a great villain. I know, believe me. But how many times have we seen a good Joker story? Would I like to see more stories with my favourite villains? Yes and no. There's always work that can be done with characters, and great stories can still be written to this day. But if the story falls flat, we have another mediocre Batman show. So, how about some Batman villains that are less popular? Pig, Toad, Anarchy, Magpie, Lady Shiva. Now this is a great opportunity to introduce some more obscure villains to the fans. This show delivers on villains. Just because they haven't already been depicted in popular media doesn't mean they're any less compelling or interesting to watch. Now, what this all comes down to is change, and I believe change is the reason to embrace Beware the Batman. We will always have Batman the Animated Series. It's not going anywhere. It truly deserves its reputation, and I don't think we will ever have anything that will be quite as good. But should we forever try to emulate what we once had, or should we try something different? No, it isn't 2D animation, no it doesn't have Kevin Conroy, and no it doesn't have the Joker. But does this make it any less of a Batman series than the other versions? Definitely not. Now, at the time of this video being released, there are 12 episodes of Beware the Batman, with some more being released on the Blu-ray package. Unfortunately, it was pulled from Cartoon Network because Cartoon Network are Cartoon Network, but don't worry, we'll be seeing more. So, if you're a Batman fan or have any remote interest in the character, then I highly recommend giving Beware the Batman a watch. You never know, you might actually like it.